Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Battleground Games Live from our living room here. I'm Andrew. Hi there. And normally I host board games on Battleground Games Live on Friday afternoons from the loft at Battleground Games and Hobbies in Abington, Massachusetts. Right now, we're not able to do that because my wife and I are being responsible adults and we're trying to avoid contact with other people. So what we've decided to do is hang out here in our living room and stream a whole bunch on the Battleground Games Live Twitch channel and hang out with you, our friends in chat. So I have the chat window up. I am looking forward to having some folks pop in, say hello. For those of you unfamiliar with Battleground Games and Hobbies, we're a local game store, your friendly local game store in the greater Boston, Massachusetts area with 3 locations. One up in Saugus by the Fuddruckers on Route 1, one down in Norton by the Xfinity Center, and one in Abington. And normally, we're a great place to come hang out, play all kinds of board games, card games, miniature war games, that sort of thing. Right now, we can't do that. We're not able to have people hang out. It's just an irresponsible thing to do right now to have people hanging out together in physical real meat space. We should not be doing that. But we can hang out online. And Amanda and I have a large number of board games that we're looking forward to sharing with you, chat. And I have been trying to get some work done on my Tau miniatures for Warhammer 40k, mostly for Kill Team. As I said yesterday, for anybody who tuned in and could hear it over the horrible audio, I don't actually play much, but I enjoy building the models. So I've got some stealth battle suits that I started construction on yesterday. We'll continue work on those today. Possibly we'll get to work on my Tau Empire Commander. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I kind of wanted to get stuff constructed today, put on bases, and primed, but it's very rainy out, and if I go to my back porch and prime stuff right now, I'm not confident that the primer, the spray-on primer, is going to work terribly well in this humidity. So oftentimes building and painting minis is a practice in patience. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to build some stuff. I'm not actually going to prime them today. I'm going to take the time to hang out with you folks. And yeah, do hop into chat, say hello. The whole purpose of doing this is to hang out with you, our friends, and to give folks a way to hang out with people in these times when you can't be with each other in real life. So yeah, come join us. Come join me. I'm going to do a little bit more construction. I posted online, and I can't even remember. I guess I posted it in the Discord. You can join the Discord right below here. If you're watching this from a PC, there is a list of links right below me, and one of those is a invite to our Discord. Free to all, no subscription required. Just hop into the Discord and feel free to chat. I saw there was some chat going on in there. Oh, thank you very much for the Bit Lobster of Revenge, and welcome. Won't get to hang out because you're working from home. That makes sense. But thank you for popping in. Oh, is it spring now? Well, spring has sprung, I suppose. But thanks for sticking your head in, Lobster of Revenge. I appreciate it. And we certainly appreciate the bits. For anybody who wants to know how can you help your friendly local game store in these troubled times, there's a few ways. Battleground is still open, just very limited hours and with a lot more caution and a lot of sanitization going on. But you can visit the stores weekdays 3 to 9 p.m., Saturday noon to 8 p.m., and Sunday 11 to 5 p.m. So those are the hours that we are open if you need to purchase some more model bits or paints or glue or role-playing books or board games, any of the things that you might need. Yeah, you've been sanitized. Believe me, my hands are beginning to feel all the washing that I've been doing, and we do actually have hand sanitizer, which is a precious commodity at Battleground, as well as Clorox wipes, and yeah, we're just sort of sanitizing as we go. For anybody who does not feel comfortable coming into the store, you can call ahead to the Battleground location of your choice, purchase your items over the phone, give us your credit card information over the phone, and we will sanitize the items and bring them out to you, curbside delivery, so you can come pick them up without even interacting with a human being. Well, aside from the phone call. So that's very handy. And online purchases are still live. We sell Magic the Gathering cards through our website, which is store.battlegroundgames.com. And in addition to Magic cards, you can also purchase gift cards, which is a great way to help small local businesses. Purchase gift cards, we can mail them to you, and you can hang on to them or give them to friends, and it's a way to help us out when not many people are coming into the stores. So anyhow, those are some great ways that you can help us out. In the meantime, I hope that folks will hang out while I work on some Tau. So let's see what I got done yesterday. I realized that yesterday the audio was supremely bad. It was an issue with the laptop that I'm streaming from, and the fact that I was streaming using the internal microphone in the laptop. I have switched over to a lav mic and a mixing board, which I had to retrieve from Battleground. So now that we've got those, hopefully the sound is a lot better. You can probably even hear over me the cars driving by outside on the road because it is so very wet out. There's a lot of cars on the road. Not an extremely large amount, but more than I would have expected given the circumstances. So yesterday, I got started working on these guys. These are XV-25 stealth battle suits for the Tau, which are one of the factions in Warhammer 40k. You can see that I have put their little antennas on. I put their right arms on with their guns. Two of them have these sort of Gatling guns. That's these two guys here. And one of them has this sort of ion cannon, this energy gun here. These are all going to be a lot of fun to paint. So to finish these guys, I have to put on their left arms, and the Tau have these sort of shoulder plates. So I'm going to put on their left arms and left arm shoulder plates. And I have to put on their little faces. They have little faces that go in here. So I'm going to do that today and glue them to their stands. I also built a drone yesterday. I didn't glue it together because I want to be able to paint the underside of the drone before attaching the rest of the drone. But it's a very simple process to just sort of snap that in there, and that's your drone. I was worried that his gun here came out slightly crooked, but I think it looks okay. Yeah, he looks pretty good. So there's the drone. There's one other peculiar piece, which I don't know what it is, and we'll build that today as well. Get our bases. I'm going to go ahead and snip out the flying base for the drone, even though I'm not gluing the drone to it. Obviously, this is a piece of clear plastic, and I don't want to prime it when I prime the drone before painting it. but I might as well snip it out and glue it to the flying base, which is, again, a piece of clear plastic. So let's just do a couple of quick snoops. I don't know why the flying base has this little piece of sprue. It must come off of a larger collection of bases, but there's a clear plastic base, and then this is the clear plastic flying post that goes under. There we go. So this is just going to go like that. Just a quick dab of Zap-A-Gap. Hopefully my Zap-A-Gap hasn't solidified. Take my glasses off so I can see. I know that's ironic, but I have to take my glasses off to see fine detail and close-up work. Yeah, my Zap-A-Gap is a little bit... You can see there's still liquid in the bottle, so it's probably just plugged. I'm going to try using the post. There we go. Don't need much, just a tiny touch. Definitely, when doing model construction, you learn that as little glue as is possible is all that is necessary, really. Because you don't want to overdo it, which results in glue sort of going everywhere and makes, when you get to the painting stage, things look not terribly good. Okay, so a little blue around the base here. I'm using Zap-A-Gap instead of plastic glue because this type of plastic here is going to work differently than the other plastic that these guys are made out of. Alright, so I'm not even going to hold that. I'm just going to glue it in, make sure it's pointed up. Yep, looks pretty good. And put that aside to dry. Yeah, I just want to make sure it's not at a weird angle or anything. And this other post I can put in the bits box at Battleground. We have a community bits box where your folks can put bits that they're not using. I don't have any need for a second flying post. Okay, so these are the bases for my 3-duders. There's also a 25mm base. We'll use that in a few secs. Actually, let's do that now. So I'm going to have to consult the instruction book for the Tau to find out what this is. But this little gun here, this thing here, according to the instructions here, I just glue that to a 25mm base. Why? Who knows? It must have some purpose. Must be some sort of turret or something, some sort of support unit. So I'm just going to snoop snip. This sprue is almost empty. All it's got is 2 little faces and 3 little shoulder pads left. Oh, there's more faces over here. Almost done with that sprue though. Okay. So, like I was doing yesterday, we're just going to trim. I don't know if you guys can see because this is kind of washed out. Maybe I need to adjust my lighting. It's either completely washed out or not quite, or invisible in the darkness. But there's a little bit left over from the sprue here, so that's what I have to trim off. do end up with a lot of sprue dust when you're doing model work. You have all these little bits. I'm very impressed with how little flashing there is on these. It's a very, very small amount, but they're well molded. This has the most flashing I've seen of any of the bits that I've built so far. And what I'm doing, I'm just using the back of my hobby knife to sort of smooth out those bits of flashing where the mold lines show. Yeah. That looks pretty good. And then this end here is where it's going to glue to the base, according to the instructions here. Just glues down like that. So, okay. Again, I'm using Zap-A-Gap for this because I have found that that works better in attaching these bases, which are a different sort of plastic than the stuff that comes off the sprues. Just put a little Zap-A-Gap on the bottom there. And now comes the bit where you need patience. I'm going to stick that on the base and then just hold it in place. What I said yesterday is that this is where model building is very meditative, because you're basically doing breathing exercises. You're going to apply pressure, hold it in place, and then you're going to breathe in for 10, hold for 10, breathe out for 10, hold for 10. So let's do some breathing exercises now. Wasn't that nice? And now, that little thing is affixed to the base. Slightly off center, but that's fine. I have no idea what it is, but it is attached to the base. There. Alright, let's work on these guys. So, let's attach their other arms, which are these here. Snip, snip, snop. So all that's left on this sprue, there's this little thing here, little round thing. There's an antenna. There's a face. And then yesterday I mentioned there were 4 antennas for 3 dudes. So if you look on the box, it's somewhat obscured. But this guy here, it looks like he has that spherical thing on his back, or maybe it's attached to this guy's arm. I can't tell. But there's an extra spherical thing with the antenna on it. I don't know where it would attach. I suspect it goes on the back here. Perhaps I should Google it. Ah, thanks, Nate. So that's the squad leader. It attaches to his back, and it's his target lock. So yeah, this is the squad leader with his sort of plasma rifle thing here. So I guess I'll get to that in a moment. First, we're doing arms. Everybody gets an arm. So let's trim any flash or mold lines that are visible. If I was being exceptionally careful, I would paint these little hands before I glue their arms on, because that's going to be on the inside and it's going to be sort of hard to paint once I'm done. But I'm not painting on the sprue or painting before assembling. So I said last time that I painted one of my Tau commanders, or squad leaders, prior to assembly, but it was more of an experiment to see if I could do it. There's a little bit of flashing here that I want to trim out and smooth out there. Actually, that's hardly going to be visible because there's going to be a shoulder pad here. There's going to be a shoulder pad that covers this up. But anyhow. There's quite a lot of leftover sprue there, so I'll just trim that off. Nate, are you still having to go into work, or have they called you off now? Because I know a lot of folks don't have to go to work now, or don't have the option to go to work even if they want to. Amanda would rather be at work than sitting at home overloading on information. But it's not an option for her right now. The library is closed and they've told employees to stay home. I do think they do an admirable job in the design of these pieces, hiding the mold lines in the sculpt. So you'll see the mold line goes along here, and it's along the edge of this piece of armor that's on the back of this hand, along there, around there, and along here. So all these straight edges are mold lines, but you can barely see it in the final product. So there's those. Get my plastic glue and glue them on, and then we'll get the shoulder pads on there. I have not been making an effort to pose these guys as I'm molding them or as I'm constructing them, but they have ended up with slightly different poses just based on the variation that where I glued the arms. Alright, now again, it's breathing exercise time. Out. Hold. So relaxing. It needs to be held a little bit longer. I can feel that it hasn't set yet. So definitely a lot of patience involved in building these models, in building any models really. I don't know if that's... Nope, I can see that the glue is still wet. So how's everybody doing so far? I know Nate might still be at work. I know Lobster of Revenge is working from home. I have to go into work myself in a couple of hours. So Oh, I started to talk about the fact that I posted a schedule in our Discord. I'm going to try and do a noon modeling stream, painting or constructing, every weekday. So Monday through Friday, I'm going to be on at noon. Just because having a set schedule is a good way to. So his hand is accessible. I'm going to be able to paint that. Having a set schedule is a good way to cope when things are the way they are. You want to be able to set a schedule for yourself so that you don't, if you're stuck at home, find yourself, oh man, I put way too much glue on there. Find yourself, I don't know, running out of things to do or you want to have your day regimented because you're used to that, right? If you work, you're used to having to be somewhere at a certain time, having to get up, shower, get dressed, brush your teeth, comb your hair, all those sorts of things that don't necessarily happen if you don't have to. So if you're stuck at home right now, it's nice to still have that schedule, because otherwise I don't know if anybody out there is familiar with the Norman Conquests. It's a series of plays, but there's a character named Reg who at one point is asked, why is he married to this overpowering sort of strong personality woman? And he says he doesn't really mind, because when she's not there, he finds himself winding down. He describes it as if he had been wound up, and when she's not there, he winds down and slowly comes to a stop. So I think that that's a really great description. That's definitely something that can happen to people when they don't have something to do. So it's good to have a schedule to keep yourself from winding down. So I have set a schedule for myself and for the stream so that you, my friends at home, can join me on a set schedule, and we'll all have a set schedule together. Admittedly, I do have to go into work 4 days a week during this, but it's for much shorter hours, and I kind of want to keep in the practice of a daily routine. So I'm going to try and stream every weekday at noon, Monday through Friday. And that will be this stream. That will be building models and eventually painting them. Oh, hey, Travis. Welcome. I was just saying, I'm going to be trying to do the painting and modeling stream, every weekday at noon, so as to keep myself on a schedule and give myself an excuse to interact with people. I'm holding up pretty well, thank you. Amanda, I know, and we're very nervous about me having to go into Battleground. I'm taking as many precautions as I can. I'm trying to sanitize regularly, trying not to let customers breathe on me. That's the real trick. Because I'm behind the register, I'm not necessarily 6 feet away from them. So, and I'm not wearing a mask while I'm at work. So I just have to not get breathed on. So I'm hoping that people are taking advice and staying home If they are coming in, I hope that they're being responsible about it. I need some shoulder pads. Shoulder pads are on the other sprue. There we are. So, lovely Tau shoulder pads. I'm going to put these on these guys. Aside from that, like I said, I've got myself a routine now because I'm going to be doing these streams, and I think that's a good way to maintain my sanity. I also want to do some writing. That I don't think I'll do on stream, though, because that's not super thrilling to watch. And I have been getting regular exercise by playing Beat Saber. Yay, Beat Saber. Actually got a new achievement today in Beat Saber. Paying by card. Yes, definitely. I did have a few people pay in cash yesterday, and basically every time I handled cash, I was immediately sanitizing my hands with hand sanitizer afterwards, or going to the bathroom and washing my hands. I think I only had 3 people all day pay with cash. But card is definitely preferable. I've actually, we offer tap to pay, so people don't even need to have their card out. They can just sort of wave their phone at our sensor, at our card machine. So that's nice. Kind of trimmed these close to the model, and I'm not super happy with that. Oh well. I'm not so upset with it that I'm going to get out the liquid green stuff and patch it, but these are not going to look super smooth even when I paint them. But yes, paying by card, I appreciate that. Oh, the achievement that I got in Beat Saber today, it was... Actually, I can look it up. It was Hope is the name of the achievement. Get S rank on at least 15 different levels on expert difficulty. So I'm slowly working my way through expert difficulty. I will say that particular achievement is much easier now than it used to be because there are so many more tracks. When the game first came out, to get S rank on 15 levels, you'd have to get S rank on 15 of like 25, and now it's 15 of maybe 50 tracks. So yeah, a lot easier to do. The next achievement, so I think there's 2 or 3 achievements I haven't gotten yet in Beat Saber. One is get perfect streaks on a certain number of songs in expert level or in expert difficulty, and man, that's gonna be a challenge. I'm gonna have to actually, oh gracious, oh man, so much glue just came out there. It's fine, it's gonna be hidden because it's under this shoulder pad, but it was way more glue than I wanted. So Travis says that the achievement that he's stuck on right now is finishing the quest mode stuff. So I beat quest mode, but there is an achievement, and it's one of the ones that I haven't gotten, for completing every quest. So the quest mode in Beat Saber, for anybody unfamiliar with it, has a bunch of different tasks to complete, and many of them are, get through the song, stuff like that, and those are pretty easy. There are some, however, that are a real bugaboo. In particular, the ones that I'm stuck on right now are the ones that require you to complete. There's 2 sets of levels that I have not beaten in quest mode. I've gotten to the end of quest mode and, completed it, which means I've played through all 30 levels or whatever it is. But it branches, and there are some branches I haven't completed, and they mostly are either branches where you are required to move your arms as little as possible, which is really hard, or there are some where you're limited to how high a combo you can do. I've actually gotten through all of those. They're tricky, but not impossible. You just have to plan when you're going to mess up, because there are several where you have to get through with a perfect streak and never mess up. And you get quite good at that eventually. But then deliberately messing up so as to break a streak when you're at, say, 20, you have to count. So you're like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, break it. And oh no, I just lost a piece. It just skittered across the floor. So yeah. Oh man. I heard it skitter away. This is terrible. Give me a moment, folks. I'm gonna need my flashlight. I heard it. It came down here. Problem is, I've got a thick carpet in the living room here. It could be anywhere. I just have to not vacuum until I find that piece. There it is. I found it. I found it. Whew. Disaster averted. I'm back. But yeah, the ones that I'm having the most trouble with in quest mode are the ones where you can't move your arms, so you're just swinging your hands only, and it gets very difficult. There's also a couple where you're required to do perfect streaks with one hand, and they're just exhausting because it's not quite as many notes as you would have if you were using two hands, but it's a lot of notes and you can't miss one of them, and I have not gotten through all of those. So yeah, there's a couple of quest mode things I still have to do, working on that slowly but surely. But the get perfect streaks on a certain number of songs in expert mode, that's going to be a challenge. What I really should do, if I want to buckle down and do this, is I should make a list of the tracks where it's feasible for me to do it. And then just practice, bash against those tracks. I just don't like playing the same track over and over and over again. I like variety. Yes, 80s training montage. So there's several songs where I'm like that close, like 2 or 3 notes missed. And eventually I'll get perfect streaks on them. I just have to play them enough times. And probably if I played one track, say 10, 20 times in a session, I could do it. But that would be monotonous and boring for me, and the whole reason I'm doing Beat Saber as my exercise routine is because it's not monotonous and boring. So, yeah. Alright. So, we're done with all their arms and their shoulder pads. Everything is glued in place, waiting for that to set. Next up is faces. None of these guys have faces. So, according to the instructions here, there's one face that's different than the other faces, and the instructions are not super clear about which face that is. But that would be the one for the squad leader. Remember, the squad leader, oh, here we are, they actually have an illustration. The squad leader gets these on the back. Either this spherical thing or this and an antenna goes onto their back there. So we'll do that for the squad leader, but first let's do faces. So we've got two guys that are getting this face and one guy that's getting this face, and the illustration is not super clear about which is which. Let's find the faces. Okay, these are the squad leader bits to go on his back. It's interesting, he can either have this or the spherical thing, hemisphere, with that antenna. I like this piece better. I don't know from a practical point what difference it makes, but my theory so far with building my troops, because I don't play very much, is to build things that I think look coolest. Alright. Okay. So, I don't know if you folks can see this at home, but there are distinct faces. There's 3 that have 3 lenses on them, and 1 that has 1 big lens on it. So I'm guessing that, with the big lens there, is the face that's going to go with this guy here, the squad leader. And then these, with the 3 lenses, go on the other 2 guys. So we'll snoop that off. So Travis says that for exercise, he has taken to parking a stationary bike in front of a TV or PC and playing something semi-mindless with a controller, like Diablo 3 on the PS4 or Rocket League. That sounds like a good way to get some exercise. I got Ring Fit Adventures for the Switch, which is a cool little way to get some exercise, but I haven't dedicated much time to it. Definitely, I'm getting the most entertainment value out of Beat Saber. Alright, so what's the orientation on this? I think, yeah. So it's got this little angled down piece here. That's the bottom of the face. So it's just going to go bloop in there like that. Let's apply some glue and make it happen. When I saw you mention Rocket League, Travis, I thought you were saying something about playing the Rocket League tracks in Beat Saber, because they introduced a bunch of Rocket League tracks. Oh man. Guys, don't breathe glue. Bloop. Now he's got a little face. There we go. Cool. I guess while I'm doing this, I might as well stick the thing on the back of him, on Mr. Squad Leader there. So we decided, oh, that's not this sprue. That's this sprue. So I'm going to do this piece here with that antenna. There you go. So relaxing. Just a rainy day out, sitting at home, listening to the rain, building some towel, hanging out with my friends in chat. Thank you everybody for joining me. Certainly makes my day to have all of you here. Yeah, the sax. Do 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 do. The first time I played that track, I was like, "Oh, it's the Night Court theme." Got a little glue. This is going to require some holding in place here. There we go. I'm definitely getting more glue than I intended here. I need to clean the nozzle on my glue. Okay. There we go. Stick that there. Hopefully I'm sticking it the right way. Yeah, I think this is right. Okay, and now I just have to hold it in place. Time for a breathing exercise. That worked. Now I want to stick an antenna on the back portion of that little bit there. You can see I'm beginning to get little bits of glue on my fingers. Occupational hazard. Okay, so this is the antenna. This is going to require some precision. I'm just going to try and soak up some of the glue that's already on the back of my nozzle here. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay. Just need the tiniest dab of glue. Ooh, man. There. Okay. And then it's going to stick right on the back of this. I want to kind of get it centered. There we go. Like that. And then just hold it in place. Dogs howling to the Law and Order theme. I'm not going to click that right now, but it sounds hilarious. It's not quite where I want it. I can scooch it over while it's still somewhat dry, somewhat wet. Dang it. Come on. Here we go. That's where I want it. Yeah. Oh no, did I stick that on backwards? No, it's okay, it's okay. That's, I think. I can't tell. I think it's right. Okay, I have to stop fiddling with this and just let the glue do its job. So let's just hope that that sets where it is. Looks pretty good to me. Maybe a little nudge there. 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 Now we just let it set. While that sets, let's put faces on these guys. So that's these faces here. So all that's left on this sprue is one extra face, and all that's left on this sprue is the hemispherical thing that I decided not to use, and one Gatling gun and one extra antenna. I have no idea why there's an extra antenna. Woo! Just knock everybody over. As long as that didn't hurt this guy's antenna, I'm okay. Set faster, glue. Everything's fine. So now I'm going to stick these faces on these guys. Don't think I really need to trim this at all, because it's going to be inside the cowl when I glue it in place. For the most part. Yeah. Pretty good. Okay. One more. There. Alright. It's all three constructed. Now to stick them on their bases. And again, I'm not going to use the plastic glue. I'm going to use the Zap-A-Gap for that, because I feel like that works better with this plastic. And this is going to require a certain degree of patience. Because when gluing stuff to bases, it takes a while for the glue to take effect. Hopefully these little guys are fairly stable. Just hold it in place. So I hope this is being a helpful resource to everybody, that you're enjoying hanging out with me while I'm doing this. I'm glad we've had a couple of folks hop in chat and keep me company. There we go. He's done. Let's do this guy next. That's right. Okay. A lot of waiting involved in having glue set and stuff. Very relaxing. Yeah? There. Lovely. One more. That's our commander here. Not 100% happy with the way his rear antenna went on, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Good enough for government work. Come on, glue. I don't need much, I just need a little. There we go. Nope, don't glue it to my hand. Thanks for joining us, Travis. And yeah, we'll be streaming throughout the week. I don't know if Amanda is going to stream while I'm at work today, but it's entirely possible that she could. Okay. So, we have constructed one little flying drone. one little mystery bit, wing, or some sort of support item. One commander with backpack antenna sensor thing with his big cool looking gun there. And two stealth suit grunts with their Gatling guns. I am looking forward to painting these. That's going to be a future stream. Aw, thanks. Lobster of Revenge says they're so cute. They are cute. They're kind of goofy looking. But I'm going to have fun painting them. Alright, so while those all dry, move them out of the way. It is 1 o'clock Eastern. I'd like to spend another hour or so on this stream. So, what do you think? Should I start work on the commander? This is going to be a bigger project. Maybe I'll just build his drone. Man, does he have a big gun. Look at that gun. That thing is big. Let's open the box and see what's inside. I don't know if it's worth it to keep these sprue bits for the stealth suits. Alright, so inside this box some flying stands, one double-sized sprue, which is basically 2 sprues, one single-sized sprue, a gargantuan base, I think that's a 40 millimeter, maybe a 50 millimeter. It's big. Some more decals, which I shan't be using. And the book. So, I can make the XV-86 Cold Star Battlesuit or the XV-85 Enforcer Battlesuit. Decisions. What's the difference? The Cold Star has this giant Gatling gun. The Enforcer has this gun and this gun, so he's got 2 guns. Do I want one giant gun or 2 smaller guns? So I recognize this drone because I built one of those. Let's see what the manual has to say. So for the drone, they have several different loadout options. Shield drone, marker drone, or a gun drone. I don't currently have any gun drones, so I think I'll build a gun drone. Looks like all the options build the first few steps the same way, the same legs, the same torso. The changes come when you get to the arms. Yeah, here's the Cold Star's high output burst cannon. Whereas the Enforcer he's got multiple gun options. Air bursting fragmentation projector, plasma rifle, fusion blaster, flamer, shield, burst cannon, cyclic ion blaster. So here's my thinking. I'm going to build the Cold Star XV-86 Cold Star battlesuit with a gun drone. And my reasoning is this. The XV-86 only has one loadout, where the XV-85 has multiple loadouts. I'm going to build a second one of these at some point, do the XV-86, or XV-85, the Enforcer, and magnetize the guns so that I can swap them out. I don't have the necessary bits right now to do magnetization, because I have some very, very small magnets, but I don't have magnets on the scale that I want for this. So I'm going to do that at a future date. I'll build this one later. I'm going to start this one today. Start with the drone, because drones are easy. I'm just going to build a gun drone. Interestingly, although I have flying posts, I don't seem to have... Oh, there it is. I do have a flying base. Okay. So I have the option of making my drone flying quite high up in the air, or at a medium height, I guess. I'm going to save this. And we'll do the medium height. My glue keeps getting stoppered. don't want to squeeze this too hard or I'm just going to get a giant glop of glue all at once. Flying base. Aha! Parts are numbered on this one. I mentioned when I was building the stealth battle suits, there were no numbers on the sprues. Okay. For the gun, I need 70, 71, 72. The drone itself needs 69, 77, 76. There's 77, 76. Those are the antenna for the drone. And there's 69, the drone body. Excellent. A little trimming. Mm-hmm. There we go. Alright. And the antenna. A little bit of sprue dust here. Perfect. Interested that they put the connectors to the sprues on the back of the antenna instead of the base. I feel like they normally have the connectors attached to the portion that you're going to glue down so that it's obscured if you don't get a completely clean disconnect from the sprue. There you go. Time for glue. Yeah, I've glued the stopper for the glue to my finger. I think that's definitely a sign that I'm getting to the end of my streaming capacity. If I'm getting too much glue on things. So is there any distinction between these? Yes. Yes. Not much, but if I'm going to be obsessive about construction, I want to make sure I put the right antenna on the right side. Okay. So this is 76, this is 77. So this goes on the left side of the drone. There we go. Got a little too much glue there. You can see where it's welled out there on that side. Oh well. It is what it is. Okay. Looks pretty good. Yes, that's the top of the drone. For the gun drone, we're using 70, 71, and 72. So let's find 70, 71, and 72. There's 71 and 72 right there. The bit that goes between them. There it is. 70. Okay. That piece flew. Mm-hmm. How did I get glue on the back of my thumbnail? That's impressive. Okay. Let's see here. Pretty sure that's the bottom of the gun. These should go like that. Let me double check. Yep. Too much glue. Too much glue. Okay. Yeah, everything's fine. Trying to align those so they both point the same way and not like at an angle to each other. But I think that is my first gun drone. We're back. Sorry about that. I was frozen for a moment. Had to reconnect some sources and stuff. Let's go back to Zoom Cam. So here's where we were. We had finished constructing my gun drone, so we've got that. We've got his little droney head. We've got his flying base. I'm not going to glue those bits together quite yet because I want to be able to prime them separately. But that is the gun drone done. It is 1:27, and I don't think I have anybody in chat right now, so I think I'm actually going to call it right now. I'm going to say thank you to everybody who joined me. I hope you had fun. I definitely had fun myself. I'm going to be back tomorrow, Friday at noon. It may be a little bit more difficult for me to tear myself away from what I'm doing then because I'll be playing Animal Crossing, because that comes out tomorrow. But yes, I look forward to seeing some folks in chat tomorrow. If the weather dries up, I will prime some of these so that I can start working on painting them. If it does not, then I will continue work on my big commander, and that will be a lot of fun to work on as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I had a wonderful time. It was nice to have folks in chat to talk to, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon in the future. Bye, everybody. Take care of each other.